And key number 5 is know how your brain works. Now, this key shows up in many of the other keys. We may even have been able to just allow the other keys to cover this one. But I think it may be important to be more deliberate and also have some conversation about knowing the neurology of addiction. I really like Dr. Thad Polk from the University of Michigan. He does a really good job, and he's created a lecture series. I encourage you, you can download it off of Amazon and listen to each lecture, or even on Audible, and hear all the lectures together. And he talks really well about how substance use and specific substances affect different parts of our brain. Dr. Kevin McCauley, he has 2 videos. You can watch them on YouTube. And he talks a lot about the neurology of addiction. What is the disease of addiction? How does it actually change? What is broken? Like in diabetes, we know that the pancreas is no longer, at least type 1 diabetes. We know that the pancreas is no longer producing insulin. There's something that is broken. And then we treat that. Well, what's that for addiction? What does that look like? What's going on? Our neurology is that we no longer have the ability to cope with cortisol. And that is where a lot of the psychological components of addiction. And then we also, our neurons now rely on substance, and without it, we now have a physiological withdrawal. We have a physiological dependency, and tolerance has built up, so we need more of that substance to have the same state of homeostasis. Knowing that can help us be more prepared for some of the ways our bodies will respond. As we're going through withdrawal symptoms, we should expect that our body is going to do the opposite of whatever the substance did for us. And it will probably do it in an accentuated amount. So if an opiate, for example, is a pain blocker, not just physically, but also emotionally, as we're going through withdrawals, we are going to feel physical pain and we are going to feel emotional pain. We're going to be irritable, restless. We won't be able to stop moving. And the distress we're going to feel from that pain is going to be maybe tenfold. Maybe we won't be able to sleep. And even in post-acute withdrawal symptoms, which can last for 6 months or over a year long, we will have post-acute withdrawal, disturbed sleep. Opiate is a constipation. We may have a massive amount of diarrhea and other types of things as we go through withdrawal. If it quiets the body, it's going to create noise within the body. And every substance and other things that the body relies on, sugar or nicotine, are going to have those type of withdrawal symptoms. Whatever the opposite of the substance was, expect that in the withdrawal. And so preparing and knowing how our brain is going to respond, recognizing the lies that our brain tells us when we're in an addiction. The number one lie that addiction tells us is that we will always over-anticipate the reward and we will underestimate the cost. What might we do to prepare for that lie, especially when we're going through withdrawals and that lie is going to be tenfold? It is true. It's like with anxiety, called the anxiety bubble. When we're in that bubble, we are surrounded by water with no oxygen. And when we can't breathe, everything anxiety is telling us is now true. And I'm going to do it so that I get the promise of having oxygen back. Addiction is just as profound, if not more profound. I will do whatever it tells me to do so that I can breathe again. The other lies that addiction tells is that I can only be in a relationship with others who are going to co-sign the lies of addiction. So I'm going to be distant and removed from all those who will not co-sign what I need to believe. So relationship is often one of the first casualties of addiction. Do I know how my brain has been wired? I may have started using for completely different reasons. For shame and guilt, social lubrication, enjoyment. But eventually, the dependency, both psychologically and physically, that's now created in my brain has created its own issues, regardless of the reasons why I may have used in the beginning. And I need to recognize, if I want to be sober long term, what type of impacts those have, so that I'm prepared to work with those new belief systems and schemas so that I can stay in charge and them not.